This is the story of a healthy, happy toddler, a baby who was doted on by family and friends. They say she's never far from her mother's side, and then suddenly, she's gone. So how did no one realize she was missing, and where is she now?
Is there anything that you can tell us about what kind of baby she is?
She's a happy baby. She hardly ever cries. She wants to wave and talk to everybody. She walks funny. She doesn't know how to pick her feet up, so she kind of wobbles.
And I know all of this is very hard. Can you tell me, like, how you were feeling?
I just want her back. That's all I want.
A distraught grandfather makes a call to the Department of Children's Services. He hasn't seen his granddaughter in more than 2 months. And for obvious reasons, he is very concerned.
The Department of Children's Services, or DCS, initiates a report about the circumstances of a child, Evelyn Boswell, and it became immediately apparent that her whereabouts were unaccounted for and no adult was able to tell where she was. So Sullivan County immediately starts initiating an investigation. Sullivan County called in TBI to help on the 18th. An agent was sent out that evening, worked into the night all day long. On February the 19th of 2020, it's all hands on deck. That's when I become involved. The TBI administration decided to issue the Amber Alert, and that's when things really kicked off.
Our office was brought into the case immediately because I think the sheriff's office knew there was something going on here. So we tend to assist with writing search warrants, kind of figuring out how the investigation needs to go.
It is a very small community, and we got a lot of community outpouring from the moment we let the Amber Alert out. There was 24/7 churches, civic groups, just civilians bringing food, calling, asking, what can I do? How can I help? That sort of thing.
A case like this was pretty shocking for everyone. And I think a lot of people, a lot of community members had doubts and questions when Evelyn was first missing, because I'm sure they thought this is such a small town, someone has to know more than what they're letting on.
Now, Megan Boswell, who's Evelyn's mother, she sends out this seemingly desperate plea to whoever has her daughter.
I mean, if they're watching, I just want them to bring her back.
Is there anything you'd like to say to them if they're watching it?
I just want her back. Yeah, that's my child.
Maggie, or Megan, was a young single mother who had spent some bit of time in foster care in her teenage years.
She had not a great home life. She kind of experienced drug abuse between her two parents growing up, some domestic violence issues. She actually had Evelyn while she was in foster care custody. Evelyn was described as happy, very bubbly, fun to be around, kind of, just the average 15-month-old toddler running around, kind of wanting to explore things and being curious. All of Boswell's friends loved being around Evelyn, and so did her family.
This case is unlike anything I've ever been involved in. We've had a child that's not been seen by the parents or certain family members in almost 2 months, and was just reported this week. As you all know, these cases are already time sensitive, and we urge anyone with any information to come forward.
Every lead really is being followed. There's information, some of it good information, some of it bad information, but obviously when you've got a child of that age missing, you're going to pursue every lead that you can.
Law enforcement agencies from all over the eastern part of Tennessee, the western part of North Carolina, and even spreading out further as far as running down leads get involved. Our aviation unit was up in the air doing aerial searches with different technology, trying to locate anything helpful.
In the meantime, law enforcement bring in Megan Boswell for an interview because they want to know what she knows about her daughter's whereabouts.
The first story I heard was from Megan that she had dropped off Evelyn with Ethan Perry sometime around Christmas of 2019.
Ethan Perry was originally thought to be Evelyn's father, and that's who Megan would talk about a lot when she was saying, oh, Evelyn is with her father.
Did he come up and get her? Did you take her to him?
No, we took her.
Where did you take her?
Wherever his grandparents' house is, on a long gravel driveway, it's off our town local.
Okay, so it's local. All right. So what made you all take her to him? Because he's not been in her life.
Well, because he was like complaining about wanting to know her. I mean, like that's her dad. I was trying to give him a fair shot, you know.
Was your plan to leave her?
No, I wanted to get her back.
Okay, so
But I wanted to let her have time to bond with her dad. And then after, like,
did you stay there? Or did you just drop her off and say sayonara?
I mean, I sat there for a little bit.
The first story that she tells investigators and her friends is that she dropped Evelyn off with Ethan, and that Ethan had just kind of disappeared and was not staying in contact with Megan at all.
When you took the baby there, did you and Ethan have a talk about how long she was going to be staying with him? So you took your baby, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, you took your baby that you cared for since the day she was born to her dad's house that she had nothing to do with, and you stayed for 30 minutes, you left your baby with this man, and now you can't find her, but you don't notify us, you just have a good New Year's and carry on with life?
Obviously, you would think a mother of a 13-month-old would be more concerned about the fact that she did not exactly know where her child was at that point in time.
So where do you think your baby is right now?
I had no clue. I thought she was with his.
You seem totally unfazed by this. That tells me that you know where your baby's at.
No, I don't.
Megan, I've been doing this a long time. I've talked to a lot of mothers. I've talked to a lot of girls. Okay? There's a piece that you're not telling me. We're going to figure out what happened. We always do. Okay?
We learned through our investigation that Ethan was an active duty military personnel stationed at a base, living in a barracks in Louisiana.
Could it be that Ethan took the baby with him when he returned to base after Christmas?
TBI and the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and FBI got in touch with United States Army's CID, their Criminal Investigation Division, and based on what they told us, they more or less tore that barracks apart looking for a child. Even knowing that there was not a child in there, they, in my mind, were probably pulling out these young soldiers, interrogating every single one of them, asking them if they'd seen a baby, and the answer was clearly no.
So if Ethan doesn't have Evelyn, where could she be? Well, Special Agent David Gratz and Detective Matthew Price, they decide to ask Megan Boswell.
We picked her up, brought her back to the sheriff's office, and started my first interview. That's the first time I met Megan.
The detectives immediately call her out on this story about Ethan.
That was the story. I think Ethan had it. Okay. You say Ethan had Evelyn on December 26th. Okay. It's time for us to lay it all out there. We know that's not true. Okay. Ethan didn't have her on Christmas. We know that's not true. Okay. Are you tracking me?
Okay, if I tell you what happened, am I going to be in trouble for not telling the first time?
Jesus, we want to know where Evelyn is. We are concerned about Evelyn's health. Right here, right now. Tell us where Evelyn is.
She looked at me and says, "Do you want to know the truth?" And based on my memory, Sergeant Price and I looked at each other and we were like, "Yes, Megan, we want you to tell us the truth." She came up with the story about Evelyn is with Angela. Angela Boswell was the mother of Megan Boswell and the grandmother of Evelyn Boswell. She had been charged in the past multiple times. She had some substance abuse issues.
Mom came and got her from my trailer.
When?
working and Mom came over to my trailer to babysit.
When?
I don't know an exact, it was,
So today, yesterday,
no, it
3
was
days
like
ago?
a week or so after I started working because I had nobody else to watch it. Mom got mad at me and she left, and she took Evelyn with her.
With your permission?
No.
Why in the hell did you not tell us this to begin with?
Yeah, so it seems like Megan Boswell has just come up with an entirely different story about what happened to her daughter, Evelyn.
Listen to me. We want to find this baby. Where can we go find Mom?
But I have no idea where she's at. I've called her maybe like 100 times.
Maybe you don't, okay. Maybe you don't know where she's at right now.
I might have an idea though.
Okay.
Her and Will used to camp a lot.
Will McLeod is the boyfriend of Megan's mom, Angela.
Pretty cold to be camping.
Will
Okay.
has a camp.
And Dover, Virginia? Scott County?
Yeah.
Tell me where they're at.
I don't know exactly where they're at.
So we immediately, we being law enforcement and the entire team, start chasing down this lead. So in order to find Evelyn, we have to find Angela. We spend, I don't know how many resources looking for Angela.
So the detectives, they find Angela and Will in North Carolina.
We talked to Angela and Will for hours, and Evelyn was not found with William and Angela. Evelyn was not in the car. There was, in my opinion, no direct evidence found in that car that would lead one to believe Evelyn had been in that car. I believe that they did not know the whereabouts of Evelyn Boswell.
So now with Boswell's mom crossed off the list, the investigators change their focus. They start questioning Megan about her relationship with Evelyn and why it suddenly started to change.
How did you go from being literally obsessed with Evelyn, and I'm not using obsessed in a negative context, you know, like you're the mother, everything your child does, you're snapping pictures, to, okay, my mom's got my kid, well, maybe somebody else has my kid, I'm not gonna worry about it. How did that transition happen?
At this point, police have been questioning Megan Boswell for days with no solid leads to show for it. And that is when their patience starts to wear thin and their attitude toward Megan Boswell begins to shift.
You started dating Hunter December 2nd or December 1st? Okay, I know that to be a fact. Alright.
That's when I started working at Chicken Shack. I didn't start going to his house over a week later.
Hunter lived here in Blumpville, and he owned the Chicken Shack, which was a restaurant that was just opening at that time period, that first week of December 2019. And that's how he and Megan met. She had applied for a job there. Hunter's dad, I guess, was doing interviewing, hired her, and then, you know, the two of them met through that.
She goes on a couple trips with Hunter, and she talks to her friends a lot about that's who she's spending most of her time with at the time.
You start dating Hunter December 7th, you're going over to his house, no one sees Evelyn.
It was after that.
There was a marked change in Megan's behavior once that occurred. Within a couple weeks, Megan moved into Hunter's dad's residence in Blumpville, and basically it's after that time period, nobody sees Evelyn.
At the beginning of December is when her friends and her family members start to realize Evelyn isn't around anymore, and they're scared about where Evelyn is at.
Well, let me ask you this, and this may sound crazy. You're not going to know the answer. Did Hunter know you had a child named Evelyn?
Yes.
Okay. Did Hunter ever say, hey, where's your daughter?
No.
He didn't care? He didn't want to get babies around?
I mean, I'm not saying that, but he's never really, got into the subject.
Okay, what do you think of that? Hunter didn't want no babies around? I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Because that's kind of what it sounds like. He knows you're his girlfriend, right? Y'all were living together at the time. He's like, I've got a girlfriend. Did he ever say I love you?
Yeah, no.
So I'm just trying to figure out what your status was. So I love this girl. She's got a baby, but I don't care anything about it. Did that have anything to do with why you weren't worried about Evelyn?
After a certain point, what seemed to be the lack of genuine cooperation led me to believe Megan's a suspect. Based on that, we start confronting her more about things.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now. Do you know why I think you ain't been out looking for Evelyn? It's two things, kind of one and the same. You know where she is, okay?
I don't know exactly where she is.
Or you know she's dead.
No.
Now's the time to talk. Is Evelyn dead?
Not that I know of unless mom has done something. I would never hurt her. She was my daughter.
Okay. What else is there that we should know? What else can help us find Evelyn?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
It seems like Boswell's got nothing more to say, so they end the interview, but then she does something that absolutely blindsides them.
So let's get into the last time you saw her. Tell me what that time was like and when that was.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself. Because I've told them, and they're not really, taking it seriously, and if they don't go tonight, I will go myself and go get her.
I think investigators probably went to the ends of the earth for Evelyn. They searched in multiple states. They searched North Carolina. They searched several campgrounds in Virginia based off of Megan's story that Evelyn was with Angela somewhere in Virginia.
What is your message to authorities right now? To the TBI, Sullivan County, and all of the sheriff's departments and any authorities working on this case?
Just that if they don't take it seriously, what I just said, I will go find her myself.
It's not really surprising that Boswell's interview doesn't win her many points with investigators.
You have lied repeatedly. More times than we. And to be honest, didn't you go on the news last night and tell that TBI's not doing our job? You've been up here 100 times. How many TBI agents you see running around? How many Sullivan County investigators you see running around? How many FBI agents you see? We are breaking our backs to bring her home. Then you go out there and do that.
Okay, so if you're watching this, obviously you're thinking about crime out there. Let me tell you, if you are a homeowner, you need to listen to this. In today's AI and cyber world, there are scammers who are stealing home titles, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. So criminals forge your signature on just one document. They use a fake notary stamp. They pay a small fee with your county, and just like that, your home title has been transferred out of your name. Yeah, then they take out loans using your equity or even sell your property, and you won't know it's happened until you get a collection or foreclosure notice. I mean, when was the last time you checked on your home title, right? If your answer is never, you need to do something about it right now. That is why we have partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code PRIMECRIME at HometitleLock.com, and you will get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That is 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud does happen, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. So go to HometitleLock.com, use promo code PRIMECRIME. That is HometitleLock.com, promo code PRIMECRIME.
So about December 10th, what do you remember about that day? Did you wake up or what happened?
I don't know. I don't know, Robert. I don't think I did. I think he did. It was an accident.
He was sleeping there with you? Was the three of y'all together?
Now you have another pair of investigators who have a go at questioning Megan Boswell. And true to form, she has yet another explanation for Evelyn's disappearance. But this time, it's shocking. She tells them that baby Evelyn is dead.
Megan tells them that her and Hunter Wood were sleeping together in their bed, and that they woke up the next morning and Evelyn wasn't breathing. And she had assumed that either Hunter or herself, Megan, had rolled over Evelyn and killed her.
Did you give her to him?
Picked her up.
You picked her up, where was she?
On the bed. I held her for hours. I just want to let her go.
That's okay. We need to bring her home. Okay? We need to bring her home today. Just tell us where we can go get her.
And she goes on to say that she was kind of scared and kind of erratic in the moment, and that Hunter was like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. And Hunter was the one who took Evelyn out of her arms and hid her somewhere, or took her somewhere.
He came back, what did he say?
I put her somewhere close.
Did he say how he put her?
I
Did he
didn't
throw
want
her
to
in
know.
the trash can? Did he throw her in the lake? Did he bury her?
I didn't want to know.
What did he say?
Just that she was somewhere close and not to worry about it.
The mother admits that the child is in fact dead, and the search then changes at that point to trying to locate the body of Evelyn.
They searched Tommy Boswell's property, and they had cadaver dogs on that property. They did not get any hits. I think that happened twice. They searched Megan's trailer where her and Evelyn lived. So, I mean, they conducted a lot of searches kind of in or around the places where either Evelyn and Megan stayed, or based off the tips that Megan had given investigators.
Had her take a shovel?
No.
Did he take a trash bag? Did he carry her out in that blanket, a box, or heave a box, jump
I
into
was
the box?
staying in the bedroom. I just had her wrapped up in a dark colored blanket.
Do you think he took her in that trash can?
I don't know, but it was gone. I never wanted to know.
Megan, you lied to us for 6 days now. I need you to be truthful with me today.
I am being truthful.
No, just hear me out, okay? I need you to be truthful with me today. We're getting there. We need her brought home. Please, tell us where she's at.
The problem is, if Megan Boswell knows where her daughter is, she still won't say.
Probably the most damning thing against her was the fact that she had all these multiple stories. She had no credibility.
On February 25th, the decision's made to charge her and take her into custody for a false report.
At the time she was initially arrested, all we had was the fact that she had lied to investigators. That's all we knew. Even though she had said that the child was dead, we didn't know. We didn't have a body at that point.
That is when investigators get another call from baby Evelyn's grandpa, Tommy Boswell.
March the 6th, 2020, the sheriff's office gets a call from the grandfather, again, who was the one who reported the child missing, that perhaps law enforcement needs to come take a look at a storage building and a playhouse that had belonged to Megan when she was a child.
It was almost a call that was in passing. Hey, you might want to come down here and look at this building. I just thought of it. Don't know if it'll help or not. You guys might want to come out here.
He saw Megan's car pulled up to the shed. And so that's kind of what sparked that memory and told investigators that they might find something out there.
So it was about 5 o'clock. Immediately headed that way. We go out, meet Tommy. He lets us in the gate. We talk to him briefly, and he takes us over to this little shed storage building. He says, this is the stuff I thought of. Thought you might want to take a look. And I'll never forget everything I saw in there. I knew right then and there this was huge. This is a big deal.
When they opened that storage building up, you know, they find all kinds of baby clothes, baby bottles, there's some mail, other things that connect Megan and Evelyn, and obviously they've been just sitting there for a while, and they're kind of scattered.
So we first saw the trash can with the trash bags when we opened up the door. We began to process that part of the playhouse. The trash bags were taken. And then the can gets moved, and the agent who grabbed it said it's heavy. And I think at that point, we all probably had an idea. And then as we start, you didn't have to pull back much from the top to see. I'll never forget what I saw. I thought in my head, like, that's one of those old baby dolls. Some of the things were moved around. The smell of decomposition was immediately apparent. So we knew what we had.
It was a playhouse that was built for Megan, and that's where she stored the body at, which is very sad and it's very heartbreaking. And Evelyn's belongings was in the shed right next to it, and I mean just bags of her toys and her clothes and all of her belongings really in that shed.
It didn't really hit me, I guess, the gravity of it until I was actually on my way home. And I remember exactly where I was when it hit me. It's like, that's what we just found. And it's something you won't ever forget. Yeah, you'll never forget it.
This case has been difficult from the beginning. Not only did it capture the attention of residents here in Sullivan County, but all across the country. Simply put, Evelyn stole our parts.
When Evelyn's remains were recovered, when I traveled back to that site the next day, there's a church right next to the property. The church parking lot was full, and they had created a makeshift memorial with balloons, little figurines, teddy bears. At that point, we realized, undoubtedly turned to a homicide investigation, because we no longer were we looking for a missing child.
On Friday, we told you that human remains believed to be those of Evelyn were found in Sullivan County. As we feared, the remains have now been positively identified and are, in fact, those of the 15-month-old girl. At this very moment, TBI agents and detectives with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, along with the FBI, continue to work diligently to determine what happened to Evelyn.
This afternoon, the grand jury of Sullivan County returned a presentment charging Megan Boswell with a total of 19 counts.
We had gotten the autopsy reports back and were able to add those initial counts of felony murder, which was, first-degree murder in connection with aggravated child abuse and aggravated child neglect.
It's hard to believe, but it's almost exactly 5 years since baby Evelyn's disappearance when finally Megan Boswell's trial begins.
It was very sad, very heartbreaking, very mentally and emotionally draining.
To us, this case was much more than just, a mother who lied to the police about the death of her child. It was much more than that. This case was about what Megan Boswell did to her child, stuffing her in a trash can, and just the horrible, horrible death that Evelyn suffered at her hands.
There is no question that emotions are running very high as Megan Boswell's murder trial begins, and she pleads not guilty to all 19 charges against her.
Evelyn Boswell was a bright, growing little girl, full of life, healthy, learning to walk, learning to talk, doing all the things that a 12-month-old child would do. Which means today, 5 years later, Evelyn Boswell would be 6 years old. She would be possibly in kindergarten, learning to read, maybe taking her first ballet class or her first soccer game. We all know that all of that was taken away from her in December of 2019 by the defendant, Megan Boswell. And her life wasn't just cut short. It's not just a tragedy. Her life was violently ripped away from her.
Then it's time for the defense, and defense attorney Gene Scott states his case.
The state's theory is reasonable doubt in and of itself. They don't know what happened. They don't know how that child died, and they can't prove how that child died.
I think they wanted to keep the focus on, hey, the state didn't show you what they were supposed to show you, and so we want to keep it on that, rather than, I guess, getting into some other tangential issues.
There's nothing you all are going to do that's going to change anything, perhaps. Not a thing. The child, no. Your job here today, and in the coming days and weeks, will be to decide whether Megan's actions are criminal, whether they're not criminal. Your job is to determine whether the state can prove beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty that she committed each and every element of the offenses charged. And you're not going to be able to do that. Your theories are absolutely inconsistent.
One of the first witnesses to testify in this trial is Tommy Boswell, Evelyn's grandpa. You'll remember he's the one who made two pivotal phone calls in this case. One that let the authorities know that his granddaughter was missing, and the other that led them to her body.
This was a case I think that touched him at his core because of the fact that it was his daughter, Megan, who was the defendant, and the granddaughter, Evelyn, being the victim in the case. I think he was really kind of torn, and to be honest, I had a sleepless night the night before he went on to testify.
What sorts of things did you do to help her out?
I give her money. She had my credit card number. She'd get stuff on it. I mean, if she needed anything, the baby needed anything, I seen to it they had it.
The interesting thing about Tommy is, though, watching his testimony, I think everybody gets the sense that it was very genuine. He cared about Megan, he cared about his granddaughter, and that what he was telling was the truth.
Did you see Megan after Christmas?
Not that much.
Okay. Did you see Evelyn?
No, last time I seen Evelyn was on Thanksgiving.
Did you ever, in those times that you saw Megan after Christmas, did you ever ask her, hey?
Yes, I asked her numerous times.
And what did she tell you?
She kept coming up different stories and different lies. Just lie after lie.
So, at some point, did you make an ultimatum to Megan about seeing your granddaughter?
Yeah, I told her and I told her mom.
Okay. What'd you tell her?
It was on a weekend. I said, come Monday morning. I told this to her mom. I said, come high hell water. I said, I'm going to get on the phone. I said, I'm going to find my granddaughter. I said, I don't care what I got to do. I said, I want to know what's going on. I said, enough's enough. And that's when I got on the phone and made the phone call that Monday morning.
Now, Tommy Boswell did his best to try to help his daughter, but she still struggled to take care of Evelyn. And it was the testimony of the next witness that made that painfully clear. This was a man who had worked for Tommy, and he was tasked with cleaning out Megan Boswell's trailer when she moved.
Kind of describe for the jury what you found when you got inside there.
Dirty diapers stuck and molded to the floor of the carpet. Couldn't even open the fridge. It was so bad, I just let Tommy and them deal with it. There was open jugs of milk in the oven, food on the ground, just feces on the ground, just very nasty. Not clean at all. I had to use respirators to enter the house.
Then a friend of Megan Boswell's just adds more fuel to the fire, saying she was surprised at Evelyn's condition around this time.
Do you recall going to Chili's with Megan Boswell?
Yes, ma'am. Around the 1st of December.
What was your impression of Evelyn that day?
She was dirty, and I could smell her across the table.
Have you been around babies before?
Yes, ma'am.
Was she beyond what a normal dirty baby would be?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe it for us?
Her face and hands were dirty, and her clothes were dirty.
Caitlin was kind of very stoic as she talked, very matter-of-factly. She remembered things like it was yesterday, and I think that made her testimony very impactful.
There is also incredibly powerful testimony from two medical examiners. One from the person who actually performed the autopsy.
Dr. Schmidt, did you form an opinion as to the cause and manner of death of Evelyn Boswell?
Yes.
What is your opinion?
The cause of death, homicidal violence.
One of the key pieces of evidence that really made it difficult for the defense was the fingerprints in the case. The fact that Megan's fingerprint was found on the aluminum foil, which was wrapped tightly around the child's face. This wasn't a discarded piece of foil that she had cooked a baked potato in. This was foil that was deliberately and intentionally placed around that child's head. The combination of those two things made it pretty clear that there was only one person that was responsible for Evelyn's death and for ultimately trying to hide the death, and that person was Megan.
In prosecutor Amber Massengill's closing argument, she drives that point home.
Evelyn Boswell sat there in that trash can for 2.5 months. And her mom discarded not just Evelyn, but everything that was associated with Evelyn. Everything. Because she didn't need it anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, and I'm asking you today, 5 years later, February 2025, to show Megan Boswell that her stories have caught up with her. The evidence shows the defendant, this person is the only person responsible for her child being dead.
This is a hard case. There's a lot of emotion in this case. The jury instructions will tell you this case is not about your emotion. It's not about sympathy. It's not about anything else. It's about proof and what's in the evidence. That's what this case is about. The state has to prove to you cause of death in this case. They have to prove that child was unlawfully killed. They have to prove this wasn't an accident.
They can simply say, look, the state didn't prove its case, didn't meet its burden. It wasn't any kind of premeditated, there was no abuse here, it was just an accidental death.
If you say, I don't know how that child died, let's reasonable it out on this homicide counts. I pray you come to the right decision.
Now here's the thing, when the jury starts deliberating, the outcome is still not a sure thing for either side.
You know, as a defense attorney, you just want to find those 1 or 2 jurors that you can convince that there is a problem with the state's case. And so I think in his view, the cause of death and the fact that there wasn't really any direct evidence of how this child died was the strongest avenue that they had in the case.
Now, obviously, this is a big case, and the reason that we can bring this to you is not only because of the amazing support that we get from all of you out there, but also from our incredible sponsor, Upside. Now, this is the free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, food. I pump my gas, I can use Upside. I go out to lunch, I can use Upside. I get something in a convenience store, I can use Upside. And why not get cash back when I do all these things, right? This is actual real cash back. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you then transfer right into your bank account. So once you have the free Upside app, you claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You pay as usual using a debit or credit card. You follow the steps on the app, you get paid. So to find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside or scan the QR code on screen and make sure to use our promo code PRIMECRIME because you get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas.
What was most important, obviously, was proving to them and showing that Megan was responsible for the death, and we wanted to hold her accountable.
It only takes a little over 4 hours for the jury to reach a verdict.
We were kind of surprised that they were able to reach a verdict so quickly.
A jury of your peers having found you guilty of first-degree murder and the perpetration of a felony.
They deliver a verdict stating that they found Boswell guilty on all 19 counts.
In this trial, despite all of the overwhelming evidence against Megan Boswell, she still has friends and family who speak out for her. And before she's sentenced, they do their best to try to paint her in a sympathetic light, hoping that her sentence will be reduced.
Let's talk about Megan's life growing up. Would it be fair to say that during her lifetime, she's witnessed drug use between you and her father?
Yes.
Do you feel that it's partly your fault, the problems Megan's experienced?
No, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I know when Angela went to go take the stand, just seeing the two interact with each other, they couldn't talk obviously, but just watching them kind of look at the other person. Very emotional, very heartbreaking.
Have you been convicted of numerous crimes?
Yes.
Now, have you managed to straighten up at this point?
I have, yes. I've learned the importance of a mother's role, but not for Megan, I didn't. I failed her on that miserably.
And you're here asking this jury to give her a sentence of life as opposed to life without?
Yes. Maggie is, at her core, she is a generous, kind-hearted person. And through all Maggie's went through, Maggie still has potential.
I think she tried to take some of the blame for why Megan did what she did. I think, as any mom would, just trying to protect and trying to keep Megan from getting a sentence of life without parole.
And one more voice for Megan Boswell comes from her foster mom. She also talks about Megan's struggles and vouches for her character.
Do you remember when Megan Boswell came to you?
I do.
Do you recall what kind of shape she was in or state?
She was in bad shape. She was one of the worst children that I'd brought in as far as neglect.
What do you mean by that?
She was very malnourished. She's very skinny. Her hair was matted to her head with lice. Impossible to even get a comb through. It was a rough time for her. Very rough.
And you may have said, but she came to you how old?
She was 17 years old.
She was pregnant.
17, pregnant, scared, didn't have a place to go.
She seemed to be progressing and coming out of the state she was in when she came to you.
Very much so.
It's obvious why we're here today. You know why you're testifying. Are you asking this jury to just give her life?
I am, with the possibility of parole. This child has been traumatized. She's made bad mistakes that has to be paid for. But I think she deserves a chance to come back out to the real world. I don't think she's irredeemable.
Boswell faces 3 counts of felony murder. And what happens next when it comes to sentencing, it's a little unusual. In Tennessee, it's actually up to the jury, not the judge, to sentence a defendant on felony murder charges.
Madam Foreperson, did the jury come to a unanimous decision for sentencing on counts 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you would deliver the verdict for count 1.
We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life.
On the first 3 counts, Boswell is eligible for parole after 51 years, but that is not where this story ends, because at her sentencing on the 16 additional counts, her sentence changes.
Is Megan Boswell at 69 years of age coming out of prison a risk to society? And the only conclusion that I can come to after hearing the proof in this case, seeing the evidence in this case, seeing how utterly unconcerned with the fact that she took the life of a 15-month-old child, her own child. The court has to answer that question, yes. That society does need to be protected from the evil that lurks in her. And probation in those counts will be denied.
So in the end, 24-year-old Megan Boswell is sentenced to life in prison plus 33 years with no chance of parole. But once she learns her fate, Megan Boswell takes the stand again, and she doesn't hold anything back.
I would just like to say that the state of Tennessee treated me very unfair during this whole investigation, and had I had a fair trial and an impartial jury, I would have been acquitted of the murder charges. I would have never hurt my baby, and I did not kill Evelyn.
So Boswell's attorney has already filed a motion requesting a new trial.
Tragedy probably doesn't even begin to encompass what happened. However, maybe that's the best word to use. What I thought was really a tragedy in addition to the death of the child was you have the officers and the investigators that were involved in the case. Anytime you're talking about a child death, I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I think throughout the trial, it was very apparent that Evelyn and Megan was surrounded by family and friends that loved both of them a lot. They always said how fun of a baby she was and how she was always happy. And so Megan had options as to where she could have gone to for help when it came to Evelyn.
I mean, if she just needed a break, if she just needed a moment to compose herself, they would have done that, no questions asked. I have no doubt that Tommy Boswell would have taken that child and would have provided for her and given Evelyn a place and a chance to succeed and to thrive.
This is such a heartbreaking case for everyone involved. A young woman who's going to spend the rest of her life in prison, the once happy baby whose life was cut short, and the friends and the family who just loved them both. And yes, only time will tell whether Megan Boswell will get a new trial and whether the outcome will be any different.